This is Giselle Carson, and thank you for joining me for the August 2024 Q&A with me. And this month, I am going to be talking about a question that I get a fair amount, and it's things that employees on work visas can or cannot do outside of the parameters of their work visa. So for example, some of the questions that I'm going to be talking to you about, or the questions that I'm going to answer actually are this. First one, can my employee on a work visa volunteer for a job that is usually paid? So that's the first one. Second one, can my employee on a work visa take classes? And the third, can my employee on a work visa start a side business or a side hustle? And again, these questions, I select them based on questions that you submit to me. And I believe that they're of general interest so that you can continue to have peace of mind, or at least some more comfort and confidence in the tasks and the questions that you have at hand. So let's start with, can my employee on a work visa volunteer for a job that is usually paid? And the general answer to this is no, especially when it's a job that is typically paid. And this happens quite often when, say, the foreign national, for whatever reason, the work visa or the employment authorization document has not been received or approved, and they're kind of in this temporary period. They're eager to work. There is a job available, but that job typically is a paid job, and they want to do it voluntarily, and that is a no. So an employee on a work visa should not volunteer for a job that is usually paid. Work visas are for a specific purpose, a specific job, and they're not for volunteering roles that are typically paid, or could be, because it could be seen as they're working without authorization. And that is not anything that we want to support or encourage. If they do want to volunteer, it should be for roles. And I mean, I am all in support for volunteers. It's a phenomenal way of enhancing our communities, and also it's a good feel when we're able to help others. But it should be for volunteer works that are typically not paid. For example, they can volunteer at a local food bank, a soup kitchen. They can help out a community garden, or they can help out clean out parks, beaches, organizing charity events, things like that. So again, typically things that are truly typically done by volunteers on a volunteer basis, and there is no expectation of remuneration. That's the answer to the volunteering position. Now, the second one was, can my employee on a work visa take classes? Now, typically, an employee, well, not typically, the person can only have one immigration status. They're either a student or they're on a work visa to work. However, they could be on a work visa and take classes, as long as the classes that they're taking does not interfere with their work responsibilities that are associated with that work visa. So many employees on work visas take the opportunity to enhance their skills and take, continuing education, or take other classes. Again, the important piece of this is to ensure that the primary focus remains the focus that is supported by their work visa. And if they do decide to pursue, say, master's degree, a PhD, or something on that the focus of their stay in the United States is a student, then they should switch to a student visa. Last, can my employee on a work visa start a side business or have a side hustle? Similar to the other one on the work visas and taking classes. Again, foreign workers are here on a work visa with the authorization to be here to work on the basis of that work visa. If they're doing other things like a side business, side hustle, that they're not authorized to be doing, that they don't have an employment authorization to do, that is not something that they should be doing, or it could be considered unauthorized employment. As you all know, it is very difficult to obtain work visas and go through this process, and the benefits that they could potentially get from a side business, side hustle, or something like that, to me, are not the consequences of doing something like that that could be seen as unauthorized is much greater than any potential benefit that they would have out of this. So my recommendation is that someone on a work visa should not be working on a side business or a side hustle. On a separate note, USCIS has been working on an entrepreneur rule to facilitate entrepreneurship by foreign nationals. However, that is kind of its own category and its own work visa. And it's tied to that, not tied to, for example, an H-1B that is here working as an engineer or as a computer scientist or anything like that. So I strongly recommend that those on work visas pay great attention and just staying in their line. Whatever they're authorized to be here to do that, and deviate very little from it to avoid consequences that could interfere with their long-term future, which could be a green card or something like that. I hope this was helpful. And again, if you want to continue to receive this valuable updates, I encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get them. And also, please continue to email me or send me, like I said, your questions drive the conversation. I look forward to talking to you in September. Oh my goodness, where did the year go? Okay, this is Giselle Carson signing off. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.